trying to make it more interesting. So, for example, my niece, she's in the first grade, so now they're going to teach something a little bit about numbers, elementary school. So so they learn a little bit about calculus, and they learn a little bit about all kinds of things. So so what they do is 1 square meter, for example, instead of putting that on the whiteboard, they go outside and they make little gardens for everybody.
Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. Yes.
So and then when they make gardens, they have to plant, and they're going to teach about biology, and then they need to get the harvest, and then they're going to get money to actually sell it.
That?
That's the school where my niece is.
Yes.
So that's they are very much appealing to the interest of the kids.
Yes.
So it makes sense. They're not studying mathematics. They're not studying language. They're not studying economics. But basically, they're studying everything in the context of, okay, why does this matter? Why do we really need to worry about 1 square meter? Well, because if you know about 1 square meter, you know the size of your garden, for example.
Yes. So another you are interested.
You need to measure it and things like that. Yeah.
But that superficial or emotional you, not rational you, agreed with it. Okay, I'm going to study 1 meter, but different each other. And this is rational you understand, but emotional you
doesn't want to.
No. This is my question.
I was constantly fighting with between.
So this is my question: is you have 2 yous in your mind?
Right, but I don't think that you should involve Tolle in this, because you're going to a little bit off the road with Tolle.
But Tolle is he said very good issues. He just
sure.
So I tried.
But his meaning is different.
Yeah,
so
but his meaning is also he just he is sort of your mind. Okay, just get rid of any other sort, and you should keep the bacon in your heart, otherwise nothing to come in, right? He's talking about that, and you just he's very similar to the Confucius. Pure mind is when you're born, you have nothing interrupted your mind. He said, you just pure mind.
Right.
Then accept everything outside. What's happening. Then you're going to make judgment. This is, but usually, year by year, in your mind, you get happy and angry. Many emotions get into the mind, but he said, just get rid of everything. Otherwise, we cannot make clear mind, right? He said, this is exactly what I'm considering. But many people first step is clear mind, pure mind. When you're born, like kind of same situation, it's very difficult to create that situation. Some cases, you said meditation. Some cases, try to clear out your mindset, make an effort. This is very difficult. But after that, clear mind. Okay, I'm clear mind. Then after that, what we're going to do? This is I'm telling 2 persons in your heart, in your mind. One is your rational you. One is emotional. Emotional is unconsciousness.
So basically, what you see here is that what the Dutch approach to education is kind of bringing those 2 together. So the one that needs to learn, and that we want to convey it, but you also need to appeal to it, so that there is no conflict of wanting to go somewhere else, but because this becomes one. The interest and the study material becomes one. Therefore, there is no conflict. Therefore, people are much easier to understand.
Just elementary school, what you told me.
Yeah. So bring these 2 together. So the need for education and the actual interests of the kid, and try to combine them into making one. But I think that there are a lot of schools, and when I went to school, it was the same thing. A lot of topics that I had to study, not because I wanted to study them, but basically I was forced to, because otherwise I would get bad grades, and then I would not proceed to the next level.
Maybe not are going to teach them. Maybe children, he himself needs to thinking about how are you going to persuade emotional you? You try to change many kind of ways to study, like just I told you the dictionary, but you try to change many kind of ways. You try to.
Can you expect this from a kid?
Yeah, kid is okay. If you're going to, Father, I don't interested in using dictionary. This is nothing interesting. But okay, you just try to find out yourself many kind of way. Maybe dictionary is wrong. Maybe using dictionary is wrong. Maybe some other way, you know. You try to make an effort, right? And different book. And still you are not interested in, but this case you try to make. In this case, I think interactive father and children need to communicate, or mother and children, and try to looking for the many ways. How about like this? How about this? So until he's going to his emotional interested to start to study, still keep continuing.
Right. So my parents did not do that. So I forced myself just to study it. I still remember.
Like, depending on person, but some people is very rational mind. He has emotional mind is not so strong. So big pressure. Okay, emotional you and rational you. Okay, I try to memorize, make an effort for 3 hours, 4 hours. But I by myself try to teach them get into the zone. Right? Get into the zone. Just his performance, 300 performance, 400 performance, he's going to achieve. Instead of pressure, instead of forcefulness.